Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. V back with another Lines of Battle match, and a pretty high level one at that. I think both these guys are between 16 and 1700 elo, so no rookies here today. And we are on City, which is not my favorite map, I'm going to be honest, mainly because all of the fights on this map seem to happen here. So it's a little bit too predictable for my taste, but it's still a perfectly fine map. And talk about opposite deployments. We have the cucumber versus the tomato. One very spread out and one very, very concentrated. Now, I don't know which one is ideal. I've actually been losing a lot of matches because I've been spreading my lines too thin, and then the enemy has just been bunching up and just punching through my line and causing havoc. But I mean, there's credence to the more spread out version as well. And in the north map, in the color green, we do have CVT. I don't know his full username, so I'm just gonna go with CVT. And if we take a look at his army layout, it's very generic. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, oh my gosh, 13, 17, 19 line infantry and no other infantry. So a lot of people do this, right? Line infantry, they're good, they're not great, but they are proven. They are just a stable backbone, and they're really, really cost effective. So we're seeing a line infantry spam, a core of 5 Hussar on each flank. Now, I am a Hussar hater. I don't like these guys, but it's probably because I'm not good enough to use them. We have 1 Dragoon in the back, probably just some extra golden manpower. And then we have 1 Horde on his left flank. So not my favorite build, I'm gonna be honest. I like using lots of different kinds of units, but I won't deny, I mean, this one is going to have the numbers, and he's just going to be able to do a lot of maneuvering with this many units, though they're not going to be as good as what red is fielding. And in the red, we have Matamokin, and he is bringing a much more varied force. So if we take a look at this guy, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 light infantry, which are a great unit on city map. He has 4 grenadiers as well. He's got 2 guards, 4 line infantry, 2 curs, 4 goons, and 2 hussars. So again, much more diverse. And he also has 2 4-pounders as well, which I still am not a huge fan of 4-pounders, though. I think maybe my initial judgment of them was maybe a little bit too harsh. So with that all out of the way, let us dive into the game. Here we go. Probably going to be a rush to the middle, and let's take a look here. Okay, so both starting to spread out their forces. Green going very, very wide. And oh, I love this. Okay, so we see his strategy here playing out. He's going to send the middle column right into the town with 2 simultaneous flanking forces, and then a double envelopment from the cavalry with very minimal artillery support probably coming from this direction. And then he's even got an infantry corps here, which I think is a great play. So if he can get some sort of cav engagement here, bring in the infantries for support, he's going to win a local victory and then maybe even be able to start securing these woods and pushing in along with the push in the center. And then meanwhile, red, okay, so he had the bunched up deployment early, but he's already kind of starting to spread it back out. And I really want to see him form a stable light infantry corps here with protection in the woods, a little bit of a wing on the flank, and then maybe stay more conservative with the cavalry out here, just kind of probe and be ready to fill in gaps. So I definitely think red is going to be the more defensive player here, just because his army is smaller and his terrain is more suited for defense, but we'll have to see. Okay, so the fight in the town is starting to go already, and the light infantry engaging very, very quickly, and this is going to be a very favorable engagement for red. He is going to win a lot of victories here if green just takes this firing engagement, which hopefully CVT does not, and I don't think he's going to, or at least not long term. They both want that neutral objective, but these lights, along with the guard and the 4-pounder support, going to do very, very well. But if we look at red's left flank, this is a serious force moving in. 3 lines, 5 hussars against a pretty good cavalry force, though not significantly better. And yes, there are infantry on the way, but As soon as he pulls from that flank to go fight over here, he's going to leave himself open to these guys who are just waiting across the creek. So green, I like this move. And then on the right, ooh, okay, so we have a dive here for the Horty. Let's see if he gets it. No, okay. So smart pullback there from red, though maybe even that bit of overeagerness is going to cost him. And I would love to see green get across the creek with these 5 Hussars as well. He's doing a nice bit of damage with his Horty. I mean, look at the org damage he's done here. So yeah, a really nice engagement for green on the right, and a pretty nice looking engagement on the left. But the center for green is not going as well. All right, 4-pounders getting into position. Line infantry charging in on the cavalry, and the Hussar are going to catch that Dragoon. That is going to be excellent, and look at the envelopment he has here. This is great cavalry maneuvering by green. He's going to catch this Dragoon, probably kill it, and then as long as he can get the sandwich, this is going to be a amazing cost-effective catch for him here. Now, one red unit did get around the back, but that's not much to be afraid of. Red is still winning in the center, but green infantry now starting to close in, though they are going to have a huge terrain disadvantage, and the local 4-pounders are going to do work. But now the cavalry on the right flank of red are moving in as well, and the cavalry in red's backfield, they're not really going to be strong enough to respond. Let's take a look here. All right, turn 6 moving in. Green deciding to do a bit of a retreat in the center, but the cavalry are doing work, and it looks like red was able to slip out of that trap somehow, and he's trying to withdraw slowly, maybe win with this Dragoon versus this Hussar, but it's still not looking good. Now, the good news is he is drawing off a lot of green's infantry, and so maybe he'll be able to push on this flank with the guard and the grenadiers. And in the middle, still, of course, doing very well. Even got a line infantry in the backfield. I don't know how he pulled that off. We have a very isolated grenadier and guard on the right flank. We have a lot of cavalry in the back. And I'm really liking where red is positioned his 4-pounders. Because, I mean, the cavalry is never going to be really able to get at them. But, I mean, his fishhook that he's created here, it's going to start getting pressed on all sides. And, I mean, we could be seeing attacks here, and then maybe some units peel off here as well as here. So he's really going to have to depend on the terrain to help him win this battle. And, of course, the superiority of his units. All right, battle continuing to go in the center, and wow, that cavalry engagement on the left flank went so well for green. He loses no Hussars and does take a Dragoon, a Cur, and a second Dragoon as well. And now the Hussars moving into the town, that's going to be ill-advised. They would be much better off circling all the way around and just making one huge hammer force here and forcing red to fold back into the woods so that green can more easily secure the town. But a lot of these green infantry, if we take a look here, I mean, I don't know, CVT, he's got a lot of damaged units in his center, and Dragoons are even moving through the town, which I guess in this case, desperate calls call for desperate measures. But let's take a look at this center action here. 4-pounders now getting shot at by the infantry, but the infantry taking canister damage as well. And now the green units are starting to rout in huge numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units routing now, but now they do have an envelopment on red. And this game is going back and forth, man. The infantry engagement is now going in red's favor, but the cavalry engagement still a huge advantage for green, even peeling off some of his extra Hussars. And this is the advantage of taking Hussars. You can take them in big numbers, which means you can easily peel off a couple of them to break routing units while still maintaining a cavalry force. So, I mean, yeah, green is looking really, really good here. And the victory points say so, 49-39. Red needs to stay in that terrain. If he loses the city, he loses the battle. Grenadiers pushing forward now, and the green infantry, it is starting to run out a little bit. The 4-pounders have both been dealt with. That's going to be good for green. And the red, oh, that red infantry moving very far out, but they're going to pull back to the creek there, and they're not going to get caught by that Hussar. Meanwhile, red pushing in, and red has officially secured the town. Okay, so we have a lot of green infantry routing. Most of it will probably come back, but red, I mean, this is why you bring elite units, because they punch so far above their weight. 19 line infantry versus only probably about 12 or 13 infantry on the opposing side. But the charge of the grenadiers, the ranged fire of the light infantry, and just the all-around elite level of the guards, it's really making up for that cavalry loss. He's got to deal with this horde very, very soon. Not having artillery in the late game and having your opponent keep his artillery can win or lose you the game like that. So he's got to somehow push on this horde without taking too much damage. All right, starting to pull back on the left flank. I like that, pushing up the center. He shouldn't move too far from the town, though, because his artillery is going to regen, and he wants to be able to reform his line. Remember, he's at a cavalry disadvantage, so he doesn't want to get caught out in the open field. The Hussars chasing each other around. Red needs to be careful. He doesn't have a lot of cavalry left, but he now owns all 3 objective points, and just like that, the momentum is switched back into Red's favor, 67 to 33. And I thought Green was looking so good there, but I mean, that infantry route really killed him. Though he has saved his order, man, that thing pulled back a long ways, and he does have a lot of line infantry now returning to the battle, still has plenty of Hussars, lots of maneuverability. And yeah, I mean, this could still go Green's way, but Red putting up a valiant effort here. Gonna get his Hussar caught, though. And with that death of the Hussar, does he have any cavalry left? Okay, yeah, he has 1 Dragoon, but, you know, lacking cavalry and lacking artillery in the endgame. I mean, the objectives are good, but that's really, really bad. Wow, Red infantry is really pushing. I think he wants to officially break all this line infantry. Rear charge possibly from the Hussar, center pushing back up, and now Red getting a little bit too scattered because now Green is going to be able to win a local victory here, and maybe with the support of this Hussar, he's going to be able to do some rear charges as well. These guys not at the highest amount of org, so, I mean, Red maybe got a little overzealous there with his charge, especially on his right flank. He's got so many units, at least 2 light and a line pulled so far out. And it's just going to allow the Hussars to get a lot of utilization. They're going to be able to harass, harry, and I guess maybe he wants to hold on to these victory objectives. I mean, the casualties are, wow. I mean, 3,000 losses for Red, only 2,600 for Green. So Green actually looking better than I thought, and there are no Red units returning to the battlefield anytime soon. So this is just the importance, again, of chasing off routed units. I cannot overstate it enough. You have to do it because not allowing your opponent to get those units, it's what leads to situations like this at turn 30. Red going to continue to push in the woods, and again, the elite infantry pulling above their weight class. This guard doing incredibly well. Grenadiers on the left flank, although the Red infantry on the far left is being pushed back. The right infantry are returning now. Hussars continuing to run around the battlefield and disrupt as much as they can. 1 Dragoon and 1 Hussar left for Red, but it looks like the fight has been returned to Red's favor in the middle woods, and a lot of Green infantry once again breaking off, but look at how many Hussars are back, and now Green is taking the town. CVT sees that he can't win in the woods and decides to claim these objectives instead. Probably could claim this far southern one as well. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 8 Hussars still left in play. And I mean, we could see Red camp in the woods. That wouldn't be a bad strategy. And it does look like he destroyed the horde of Green. I don't see Green's artillery. Man, that horse artillery would be so good right now. But it looks like it has been driven off the battlefield. All artillery has been officially driven off the battlefield at this point. But, I mean, Green going to be returning some units here. He could regroup and make a final push. But if Red stays in these woods, it's going to be a tough nut to crack. All right, now Red deciding to advance here. I don't think Red should push out of this position. I don't want to encourage camping, but he has no advantage going out into the open field, though it does mean that his cavalry is going to get caught and none of his routed units are going to be allowed to return. I mean, Green is just mopping up anything he can find as quickly as possible, and Red is going to be emerging from the woods into the town, and I don't think this is a good decision. The Hussars now being engaged, and Green sees it. He sees that Red has given up his advantage by letting his infantry get out of cover, and now the line infantry, they're going to try to take these lights into melee. Hussar breaking through in the middle and on the left flank. and this is going to be a good engagement for green. Look at how many hussars he still has on the field, and even though they're not doing a ton of damage, they're pinning these infantry down, and it's going to be a battle of numbers, and that is the game, ladies and gentlemen. I have no idea why Matamokin decided to push out of those woods. Maybe he just didn't want to stay sedentary. It could be that he thought, I mean, obviously he was losing in terms of victory points, so maybe he thought he had to push out and get some sort of miracle going. But wow, what a back and forth game. And here I was saying, City Map does not give you interesting matches, and I will eat that one, because that was a fantastic match, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Again, guys, if you have games like this that are back and forth to the bitter end, please let me know. I love casting these matches more than anything else. But until next time, guys, have a great day, have a great life. See you later.